Good morning. Peter here. I wonder if you can think of the last time you were angry. When was that for you? Now, maybe you're having trouble thinking of the last time you were angry right now, or it might have been the case that you were angry or something made you angry right before you clicked on this video. I don't know. But anger is something that can come upon us quite quickly, and sometimes we experience it as a flash, but it doesn't really stay with us all that long. There are other instances, though, where anger is something that we can live with for a long period of time and even grind our teeth over, and it can really stay with us for a significant amount of time. Now, anger is something that we are going to experience in life. We are going to get angry, and the Bible doesn't condemn that. Sometimes we know the cause of our anger. I mean, we can identify something that happened to us or in the world around us that makes us angry. But there are other times when anger is something that comes upon us and it's rooted in something more general. We can't quite get a sense of exactly why we are angry, but it is related to larger things that we are experiencing. Many people, for instance, have reported to me that they've had feelings of anger come out of nowhere during the course of this pandemic, and it's been just related to anxieties and uncertainties and challenges that they've had to contend with as we have faced down the pandemic over these past couple of years. But however we experience anger and whether or not we can identify the exact cause of it, the Bible does give us some practical guidance as to how we can deal with it. One of my favorite verses along these lines comes from Ephesians chapter 4, verse 6. And we read there, "Be angry, but do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your anger, and do not make room for the devil." Now, one thing that I like about this verse, and one reason that it's been very helpful to me over the years, is that it acknowledges it's okay to be angry. It's not a command for us to get angry, but it's an acknowledgement that we can and will experience anger. But the verse goes on to urge us to refrain from allowing anger to move us towards sin. And sin is simply that capacity we have to miss the mark of God's righteousness or the good order that God has established for human existence. It's the path that God prefers us to take. And so we should never let anger overtake us and dissuade us from being the people that God created us to be. And that means that, in the words of the author of this verse, we shouldn't let the sun go down on our anger. That's a practical bit of advice. It means that not much can be gained from sleeping on our anger, so to speak. It's not always possible to resolve it before we go to sleep, but it's certainly worth trying to find a way to release that anger and to, in some cases, just turn it over to God and ask for guidance in the new day that's about to come for how it is that we can move forward confidently and address the anger that we are experiencing. So a bit of advice not to just brush it aside and sleep on it as if it didn't exist, but make every effort to acknowledge it and to understand it and to ask for God's help to address it the following day any way that we can. And then the final bit is that we should not harbor anger over a long period of time, because that really does give room for darkness to take hold of us. And we can see that at work in the lives of other people and in the world around us, and we can even see how it's played out in our lives from time to time. So I hope that nothing makes you angry today, but if so, remember the good advice that we have in Ephesians 4:6. Be angry, but do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your anger, and do not make room for the devil. Have a great day.